Hello, 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 and welcome back to the Brighter Podcast. My name is BatSheva.
And my name is Chelsea.
And my life is so freaking much brighter thanks to Chelsea.
And my life is infinitely brighter thanks to BatSheva.
Chelsea and I love to come on this podcast and share with all of you all the tools and techniques that we use, the stories of our own personal experiences, challenges, up-leveling, all the good things, with the hope that it will make your day and your life brighter. And today we're going to dive deeply into a particular subject or person, myself. But before we get started, we love to arrive in this space with you through our breath. So let's go ahead. And if you're in a place where you can close your eyes, go ahead and do so. Otherwise, just sort of relax your body a little bit and take in a nice deep breath through your nose. Hold for just a split second at the top and then blow it through the mouth. Release. Let anything ready to go, let it go. Second breath together, breathing in calming, quieting energy. Let it go through the mouth. Anything ready to go, let it go. Third and final breath together, breathing in through the nose, calm, quieting energy. Let it all go. And here we are, episode 45, and I'm going to hand the mantle to Chelsea to continue from here.
Oh, what a lovely, lovely time. Thank you for that beautiful introduction and coming into the space. Now we are going to dive deep into meeting our host, BatSheva. Really looking forward to this. It was interesting me thinking about these questions because as I have been a Substack subscriber for BatSheva Raisa's Spills Her Guts, I have learned so much more about BatSheva's past and her upbringing and her life. And so I feel like it was a little more difficult to come up with the questions because I feel like I know so much. But this isn't just about me. This is about all of you listeners out there. So I thought that maybe we would start with the question of what do you wish people knew about you beyond your titles or what you do?
I'm not sure if this is the answer you're looking for, but I know that whenever I interact with people in any way, shape, or form, I do wish and want them to know that I'm trustworthy. I think that that's a quality that I treasure within myself, this oasis of compassion that I have for humanity, for others, people I know and don't know. And that underlines and it underpins everything I do, all my interactions, all my creative sharings, is I really have a deep, deep love for other people, and people can trust me. That's what I want people to know.
That is so true and so beautiful. And that actually works well with our next question of what top 3 values would you say guide the way that you make choices and move through life?
I do think fun and play is one of my top guiding lights. Honesty, integrity is another one. Healthy, not by any cultural standard, just by my own standard, which includes mental health, emotional health, physical health, respecting other people, like kind of like making choices for my highest and for the highest of others. Like Chelsea said, I have a Substack where I spill all my guts. And if you don't know what Substack is, it's a platform for writers, basically, that's online, and it's free to subscribe if you're ever curious. A lot of journalists are on there, but the stuff I write is all like personal stories about my life, like all the different stages. So I do put a lot out there. I think I have talked about this maybe here and there in the podcast, but I think it might be a surprise for people to know how often I cry, actually. I literally, like, they're just like little like rain bursts, and it could just be like, ugh, and then I'm done. So it's not like a always or usually a traditional, like what one would think of as like, girl sobbing in the bathroom or whatever, although that happens sometimes. But I cry. I have like a release of tears. I mean, anywhere from like 5 to 20 times a day. Sometimes during meditation, often during meditation, because if a thought hits something and then I allow myself to like feel that something and then boom, there's like a release of tears. And it's like almost like when I allow myself to relax, that's one of the first things that happens is I get this like release of tears and then I feel better. I don't know.
I love that. I love that so much, especially because I feel like that maybe it was just my generation or maybe just the environment of that whole quote of big girls don't cry or big boys don't cry. And I just think crying is the best. It feels so good after it's over with. And I love whenever you
Yes.
are leaving your dubs and you're like, "Oh, I burst into tears." I see like a little like it's like an eruption and it's
Like a
like, yeah,
cartoon
it's like
character with the tears.
"Ah!" and then it's done. And yeah, you're right. And then it's like it's almost like a toddler before they're, ingrained of what's right and what's wrong. It's like they can burst into tears and like have it and then they're like fine, and they move
You know
on.
what? That is so true. That is so true. And when I think about especially my oldest, all my kids, but especially Yehuda, oh my God, goddess bless him. He's now like 21 or 22, and he almost never cries, like never, ever, ever. But like until he was, I would say, 16 years old, he would burst into tears like the minute something upset him. And I was like, I would tell him over and over, it's so healthy. It's so good. I'm so amazed. It really is what you're saying. It's so good for us. It's like when we're happy, laugh, or when something tickles, and when we're sad, we should cry. It just like moves the energy through us very in a healthy way.
Cleansing, the waters are so cleansing.
Yes.
Yes, I love it. Ah, yeah. Well, okay, so on from that question, what is something that you've had to unlearn? And if there's more
Mm,
than one, like, big things, feel free to share. Don't have to
right.
limit yourself to just one.
Yeah. I am unlearning still how to get out of my own way, which I'm sure it's like a lifetime, but to get like super personal, I had to unlearn all the protection mechanisms that I had in place that prevented me from feeling any pleasure in my genitals enough that I could have an orgasm until I was in my late 20s. I literally had to unlearn. It wasn't like religious indoctrination like some people. It was just some sort of unspoken, wordless protection that I had embodied within. I had to unlearn, and I'm still unlearning it. Like, but in my last relationship with another person, like whatever the guy I was dating, it was so healing and helpful for that. I really with him also, I really helped unlearn some of my self-consciousness. That's huge. I had to unlearn self-consciousness that I think that was creating a lot of those shut down and protective walls. Okay, so maybe what it is I had to unlearn self-consciousness, and I'm still unlearning it, especially as a performer. I get that opportunity like night and day. And yeah, okay. I think that's the biggest one for me to unlearn self-consciousness. I have done a lot of it and I likely will continue for quite some time, maybe forever or maybe at some point I literally will cast it off. I don't know. I think if there's anything else I had to unlearn, I have to unlearn. Yeah, I think you know this because I shared with you last night in the Daily W's. I shared with Chelsea that I'm unlearning to be, I don't know, overly committed might be the word, or just um, unlearn that like spinning the wheels almost. Like it's not, it's one thing to be like really efficient and to be able to like flow and get a whole bunch of shit done. And that feels like really great. Like that's a superpower I have and I'm grateful for it. And, may it always be with me. And then there's another aspect of filling space instead of like allowing those cloud bursts, to be able to settle in and then release. or just feeling like I need to do the next thing. I need to be at the next place. If I'm meditating, like, what's next? And I've literally talked to myself times when I'm sitting and meditating, like, I kinda start thinking about, well, when I'm in the 10-day silent meditation retreat, then I'll really, and I'm like, "Girl, you're right now meditating, like like like, you don't need to get to the 10-day retreat, you're fucking doing it now, like."
I totally relate to this. I go back to, like, festivals whenever we would be at festivals, and it was like, "Okay, I'm gonna get ready, and I gotta be ready in time for this show," and then we would go to that show, and we'd be at the show, and then I would be, like, getting my schedule out of my little fanny pack to, like, plan out, "Okay, what show am I gonna go to next?" And then, like, "Okay, and I'm gonna stay at that for how long?" And then you get at the next show, and I was like, am I even fucking enjoying the present moment? Or it's just a constant getting ready for the next thing? But like, when does the next thing like come,
Yes.
arrive? And just to revel in it, to love, just to be in it. Ah,
I'm unlearning that, and I'm consciously unlearning it, and I really pray to continue to consciously unlearn that forever. It's like the surrender technique. It's huge. Yeah.
I feel like a lot of that yours, could be also from having 4 children because I mean, how long has it been your role and job
Oh my
to
god,
literally
totally.
plan out for not even just one person yourself, but
Yes.
a whole family of people?
Totally, and I learned also to use them, like, one might use cleaning their house, taking care of their pet, their job, if they don't have even a pet or any children, like, I think it's not just the children, though, I think it's me and my personality, and then I would use them as an excuse to have endless things to do and book it because I do believe that I already came into the like, being a parent as a person who already was doing that no matter what, if I was working. I used to send emails at all hours of the night. I was, like, so proud of myself for being an amazing employee, I was just, like, always on the email, always, and, like, now I'm like, "Oh, I hope never to be that." No, I wanna, like, chill and give myself more time, more time, more time, and let things go and be okay with letting them go. Yeah.
You are very dedicated. You are very
Thank you.
dedicated and driven. It's
True.
beautiful.
I totally
It's
am.
beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see. Okay. What kind of impact is what is your deepest desire whenever it comes to the impact you wish to make with your voice? And that can be with your voice singing or with your voice stand-up comedy or with your voice telling a story or with your voice through your children, like with your voice through your Substack. Like what is the kind of impact that you want to make?
I definitely want more kindness, compassion, and comfort. The 3 Ks, even though comfort starts with a C, and so does compassion. Yeah, we'll make kindness with a C, yeah, the 3 K. No, because, like, when I think about, like, all that I put out there. And I love that you included the children because my children also feel, they're their own people, but I'll take all the credit for all the good, that when they're such, kind and amazing people, I do allow myself to take some credit for the, that legacy. And I think I mentioned it actually in the last recording, although I don't know if we're gonna have to re-record that last recording, but basically that I feel like my message, and I just actually got to it and really was able to articulate it this past week when I was a guest on that woman's podcast, Radical Healing. It came to me. I'm like, okay, I want these 3 things to be telegraphed to other people through everything I do. 1, you are not alone because there's all those moments that we feel alone, but they're not alone. So either by enjoying the show or hearing my music or my stories or our podcast or literally being comforted by me as a friend, a coach, whatever, or my words, my voice, um, people are not alone. We are not alone. Number 2, we are our own guru. The guru is you. So that Chelsea and I, what I love about this podcast is that we are doing for other people with the podcast, what we do for ourselves. We take all the modalities and techniques that we can find, therapeutic, spiritual, physical. We try them, and when they work, we love them and we share them. And when we don't work, we might let other people know. But the point is, I myself went through the sort of brainwashing process of like being in a spiritual community and allowing them to tell me what was the most important thing for me. And in a sense, like my salvation, even though it wasn't like a Christian organization. And even as I look into the 12 step program, as I've mentioned, and again, these places, have a time and a place in people's lives. It certainly did in mine. They can be like a life raft for people who are drowning, or just structure when people need that. But at the same time, my message and what I want to telegraph is that the guru is you. We are our own guru. And then finally, the third message is I think I'm especially poised to share this message being 53, going on 54, and feeling like I am just starting out in my new life of rebirth after marriage and after, kind of like parenting the younger versions of my children, and after allowing all of my creative passions to lay dormant or be in hibernation for many, 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 many years. The final message is it is never fucking too late. And we'll just add that fucking in the middle there for punctuation. It is never too late. Never, never, never. That's my third and final message.
I'm so glad. I was like, should I ask this? Because I felt like, you said this yesterday, closing out. We recorded the other episode yesterday. So if we get to use that. But yeah, she had mentioned this and I was like, oh, that's perfect. It's so perfect. And I was hoping that you would circle back around to it because yeah, it's more than just a desire. It is your impact. It is your legacy. It is like the walking, living, breathing BatSheva, and I love that. And I will say the third part about, like, it's not too late is probably one of the biggest things that, like, drew me to you, that I was like, "Oh, yeah, like, this is she's my person," because I feel that way. Like, I feel that it's never too late. Like, until you're dead, it's not too late. You can
Exactly.
Every day is a new day. It's a new beginning. You can choose to be someone completely different than what you've ever been. It's your choice. It's your life. And not to say that it's easy or that you're just like, "Oh yeah, I can forget about like whatever's going on," but still the choice is there. And if you want it enough, you can make whatever choices to get to that. That's so
And you can circle back to message number one, which is you're not alone.
yeah.
There are communities that will support you in your next version of yourself. So fucking find that community for yourself. Like that's your homework. Like go figure out. And it might, as we've said in that other episode on, the frequency of love or what was it? Relationships.
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah. Deepening relationships and like finding the support you need. It might change over time, but like find what you need now
Right.
and
And
partake and
And I
receive.
guess, like,
Be
even
to
in
receive.
in front of that is to get to know yourself. Because it's like, oh, so many people, and I've definitely been in here, and sometimes I'm still there again, like, it's kind of a thing that I weave in and out of what do I want? You know, for so long, I was looking at other people to tell me what I wanted, or society, or, our culture, like, "Oh, well, this is what I want. I want all this money. I want all these things." And then I started getting them, and I was like, "Well, I'm not happy. This obviously isn't what I mean, yes, not to say that it wasn't nice, but it wasn't everything. It wasn't exactly what I wanted. But I didn't really know what I wanted, and I didn't know that I didn't want it until I had it. And then I was like, "Oh, hmm." So get to know ourselves really, so that then we can find our community or know what we like so that we know where to find those people,
Yes.
which we are perfect examples. We met at a 10-day silent meditation retreat.
Totally. And then after that, I had shared with you Tosha Silver, which I was jamming on that community at the
Mhm.
time. And you shared with me the Pussy Book by Regina Thomas Howard because you were jamming on that. And then when we learned about the technique in the pussy book about the Holy Trinity that we turned into the Daily W's, like, fuck, that's the foundation of fucking everything, you know? I mean, and that was exactly what you said, like, from you and I just investigating this 10-day silent meditation retreat, which was, I mean, it wasn't the be all end all for either of us of any, that wasn't, in a sense, like, the achievement of doing it was, like, almost nothing compared to just, like, where it fit into our journey, I
Yeah,
think,
it's really
to our next
fascinating
level.
to think about it too, because I think that we both went there like wanting this enlightenment experience and
Yep.
like we both kind of had our own thing, which you've probably heard about, and or maybe you haven't. And if you haven't, then we invite you to go and listen to that episode about our 10-day silent is a 10-day silent meditation right for you. But I think that the gift that we really got was this friendship. Like
Totally.
that and it's like, yeah, we could see that, but did we really see that how much has really come from saying yes to a donation-based 10-day silent meditation retreat?
Which makes me think too that in the end, relationships are kind of like the point of everything, like good relationships that uplift us. And I'm thinking also the class I took last year, because had a friend teaching stand-up comedy. I love to perform. I love to laugh. I'm like, I'll just take the class for fun. But because I met this core group of women in that class, one of whom, Estrella, is, like, literally one of my besties now, but also, like, all of them and the other women, we have this little core group of girls, that we just, like, are still, like, so, um, unified and uplift each other and have fun together, and, I mean, literally so much
Can you please
goodness.
share your name?
The Slots. We are the Slots because, it was born of, when you're in comedy and you wanna do an open mic, you go online, at least here in LA, and you go to their website for the comedy club, and then you click on Slotted. It's literally like the name of the web that opens up, that pops open, that you slot yourself into a slot for the night, like, a 10-minute slot, a 5-minute slot, because 'cause you're doing an open mic, and so when we first were talking, we're like, "We gotta get slotted. Oh, my slots. You're so slotty," you know? And so now we're like there are 4 of us. There's 2 women in their 30s, and then Estrella and myself, we're in our 50s, and we are freaking besties, literally. And then so we have our chat, which was pretty lively, fucking hilarious chat. And we're the slot machines.
Oh, I love that. I love it, I love it. At first, whenever I first heard it, I thought it was like a play on sluts, which I was like, "Yeah,
Oh, of
we're
course
like
it is. Well, no,
reclaiming."
it is
Yeah.
also.
Well, but I mean,
It
I didn't know
totally
about the
is. Yeah.
slot, like, for the it made, like, more sense, but I was just like,
Like why
"Yes, we're
we
reclaiming
well,
the
yeah.
slut the word slut," like
Right, or like the slot of our
yeah,
vagina, like the slot of our
just so
opening, like
many.
that's also it's an opening as a
Yeah,
slot. Like it's like pretty
I love
hilarious.
it.
Yeah. It's good. It's body. We're a little body, our group.
Yay.
Uh-huh.
Yay. Okay, just a couple more here. One thing, so we talked about like the impact that you want to leave with your words. But let's just say after someone like after one of our listeners hears something, what do you hope that they feel like in their bodies? Because we
Um,
talk a lot about like our somatics and like,
mhm.
embodying things. And so what do you hope listeners feel after spending time with you or after hearing something that you have put out there?
I would hope that they will feel lit up inside, and I that could be unconsciously where the name Brighter came from, because I really just downloaded that name one day. I was like, "Brighter, that's what we should call the podcast," and I think that is really what I am hoping for and would love to leave people, yeah, feeling just this, like, brightness, this light shining up inside their chest or solar plexus or third eye, whichever chakra, wherever it lands.
Yes, I love that. Okay. If you get to choose the timeline here. It can be 3 years ago, 5 years ago, 10 years ago. If there's something that specifically pops into your mind, a specific event. But if there was, knowing what you know now, is there any time that you would choose to go back and give yourself some like a piece of advice or say something, like, is there anything that pops to you of like, I would do this?
Yes, there is something that right away popped to me, but I think it's even farther than 10 years back, but it's somewhere probably around 15 years back. So, my youngest child is almost 13, and then the next youngest, she's almost 17. So, I think it would be right around, oh gosh, maybe it would be when we were planning to do the coffee shop and I decided to invest my investment. Shit. A huge investment, all my stock options that would I took them out of a company that later went public and would have um, been very valuable. And I decided instead to fund the coffee shop for my husband at the time, his, you know, greatest desire. I would have gone back and talked to myself a lot about that decision. Um, there were so many multifacets of it and tried to help myself hold on to that money, like let it ride, give myself good financial advice and instead to be like more intentional and about like the growth of or like if we were to do the coffee shop, like how could we do it without like going into like hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of debt and like if not, maybe that's not the direction we go and like um because I think that that endeavor is what I mean, I don't regret having gone through it, obviously, and, I learned so much, so much, and there were so many amazing things and gifts of working there and going through that process with my family, with the people we met, with learning about the world of coffee and food, and there was really a lot of goodness. But at the same time, I will say I think that is really where I left myself behind as far as, like up until then, I had a mom blog. I used to write, like the version of my Substack now was like about my adventures is like, I was still creative. I hadn't completely lost my creative voice.
Mm.
And I really do, again, I kind of track it to like the beginning of deciding to take out all that money that was mine before the marriage, all the stock options, and to use it for that. It was my decision, nobody forced me. I it's not just financial, but I just regret that whole path, in a sense. I don't wanna use the word regret, I did use it by accident, but what I wanna say is I would go back and I would have a good, compassionate, loving, uh, hopefully illuminating talk with myself to see if I could coax myself a bit of a different direction. Yeah.
That's beautiful, really empowering and inspiring that it's not just like, "Oh, I regret doing it." It's like, and it's also because it was a part of you, like you said, it was a part of you before and, before the marriage ever a thing, but it does just go to show just how generous and loving you are. Like, wow. And also you're learning to put yourself
Yeah.
to pick you.
Yeah. To pick
Yeah.
me and also what I really yeah, I sacrificed myself, not just for him, but I sacrificed this whole part of myself that was impatient to be successful. So
Mm.
because I had never found success as a singer-songwriter, which I did have a band back then, before marriage, like when I met my ex, I had a band. I fucking gave it up on my own. I had an acting, fledgling career. I had all these things. But I was so frustrated with not having found any success professionally and financially from those things that it was my own impatience. I was like, "Well, this'll do it." And he has a vision, and I'll just like hang on to his coattails and I'll trust and it'll be amazing. We'll have this cool coffee shop and we talked about it. He was like, "Yeah, it'll probably be 5 years of hard work and then you'll be able to go do all your things." So I just naively believed him instead of, like, having any groundedness in, like, how life works, and that was my own impetuous nature. Maybe it's my Aries
Or your
rising
magical
that was
thinking, your
my magical
fantasy
what?
of you were like, "Oh, yeah, maybe you were gonna be singing in that coffee shop."
Oh, I mean, no, I was just gonna be like it was just gonna be a cool, famous coffee
Mhm.
shop, like, then that would satisfy that part of me that just wants to be the cool, famous person, and then I'd be able to go do my other things and, yeah, totally, totally fantasy, magical thinking, 100%. Yes.
And that's the
Guilty as
beauty,
charged.
the beautiful, creative, magical part of you that you're still learning,
Oh
that
my
you're
god.
just learning how to have multiple conversations with.
Yeah, like, I feel like it's a horse that's, like, wild, and I'm trying to, like, get her under a bit of
You're like,
control,
just
like,
come in the
"Let's go ride
stable for the
together."
night, okay? You can just come
Yeah,
eat something.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
like, let me ride you, don't just drag me, like, in other words, Yeah, exactly.
Okay, I have one last question for you. If you could pick one trait from both, like one trait from your mom and one trait from your dad that you wish to embody, to carry on, to um like that their legacy, that trait of them, that their legacy lives on through you, what would it be?
Such a sweet question. Usually in these in these kind of like self-help communities, we're always like, how, what trauma wounds did your, parent like gift you with? I'm like, oh, that's so nice. I love this question because yeah, I can definitely answer it. With my dad, the first and main thing that comes to mind, but I admit I'm also finishing up a Substack essay that will launch, and it really is about this, so it's front and center in my head. But it's his legacy of just joyfulness, especially when it comes to music and play and performance. Like, he really has such a joy. He loves to, like, sing songs, play guitar, play banjo, like, um that was something. Oh, he told the most amazing stories when we were kids, just endlessly entertaining us in the days before anything digital in the car and any good radio. He would just tell us stories, like the most imaginative, amazing stories ever. And I love this, and I believe I have been gifted with his gift and blessing of storytelling and, that I have the muses as well, so I would be very happy to embody that and continue his legacy with that. And with my mama, my beautiful mama, maybe it is the embodiment of, in a way, it's never too late. I think it something comes from her because she's so beautiful. She's I don't know, to say the word aging gracefully doesn't capture who she is because although, yes, she's 83, or 82, sorry, mom, turning 83 this summer. Um, it's like she she doesn't seem connected with a number or an age. She's just like a really awesome, charismatic, um grounded person, and she loves her life. She loves her life. She's built a life for herself little by little by little, and I really would like to embody that because that would help me with my impatience. I would love to embody my mother's ability to she still has a lot of magic and creates, like, really magical experiences for herself and other people, but also at the same time, she just embodies this grace. It's really how I see it. She's She's classic, classy, and graceful, and embodies living life in a way that, is just enjoying it, and it's such a great role model for me. Yeah.
Wow, so beautiful. Well, I thank both of them for gifting you, for uh, copulating. Is that the word? For reproducing.
Oh, yeah, for
Yeah.
fucking. Just
Thank
bring us
you.
down to the
Yes.
dirt.
Thank you for procreating. I'm so
There
grateful
we
to
go.
have
Keep it
BatSheva.
biblical.
Yeah. And I think that is there anything else that I didn't touch on? Anything else that you would like to share with our listeners about who is BatSheva?
I am a work in progress, and I'm just starting out, and I really did not expect those questions that you asked me, and I really thank you, Chelsea, for them because they were I know they came from your heart and your thoughtful caring mind, and it was fun. I appreciated it. Yeah, in the beginning, I was like, I don't know how to answer any of these questions, but I think I found my groove.
Just getting warmed up. Well, would you like to close us off with the Daily Doves?
Yes, ma'am. So we'll finish up as we love to do. And if you haven't noticed already, the odd number episodes are the ones that I introduce and close out. And the even number ones are the ones that Chelsea takes the helm with and finishes us out with. So in case you prefer one of our voices to the other, you can always you can always curate your own podcast series. And our daily W's are sharing 3 wins, 3 wows, and 3 wishes every single day with each other and then replying to each other. It's a technique that we love, that we believe in, and that we share with others with the suggestion that if you can find someone to do it with, you should try it. It's life changing. And then here on the episode, we just at the end like to close out with 1 win, 1 wow, and then Chelsea will share a wish. So, win number 1, I'm bragging that I rose to the occasion of the podcast recording because I started out the day. I still have it. I can feel it. I will probably have a little cloudburst later. Some stuff coming up and, things happening in my life that are like lending themselves to like feelings of agitation, worry, anxiety. And I didn't think we were recording today. I thought we were having like a business meeting. And then when Chelsea reminded me that we had spoke about doing this episode, but she didn't. She was like, but we can let it go. I was like, you know what? That will make me happy to do it. And it fucking did. I put on my pretty pink shirt for anyone who's watching on YouTube. I changed shirts to cheer myself up. I splashed on a little, blush and lipstick and allowed Chelsea to interview me, which felt really fun. So that's my big ass win number 1. My wow number 1, wow, a lot to be grateful for. I'm really grateful for the many, many prongs of support I have in my life. Externally from Chelsea and most recently Natalia, who's in my band, but she's also a dear friend, and she just, like, really, like, showed up for me when I asked for her help with something, last night and this morning, and then I'm gonna also give myself credit, like, internally resourcing myself. Chelsea used that term, I like that. The fact that I can do that as well is in tandem. It's really, makes me so grateful that I can and that I have that available to myself.
Yeah, so beautiful. Yeah. Mad props to Natalia. She's been showing up big lately. Big. I mean, she's always like been in there, but before I feel like it was more with the band, and like now I can really see your all's relationship and friendship deepening, and it's really beautiful to be a part of. And also to not feel jealous of, because I can say honestly that I'm just like so overjoyed with you to have another like close friend, but I can't say that that's always been the case in my life, you know? There was definitely a point where I feel like that I was more of a scarcity mindset, or like oh, if they have another best friend, then there won't be room for me, but big growth for us. Yeah. All right. Okay, my wish. Well, today, this isn't going to come out on this day, but today is the spring equinox, and I am wishing, I'm wishing for, I'm wishing for all the women in my life to really be able to tap in to their own worth, desires, and pleasure, and to find and seek and feel them every single day.
Wow, that hit hard and beautifully. Woof, love it, love it, love it. Well, if anything resonated in this episode with you that you thought would be fun to share, please share. We like to get the word out and we appreciate your responsiveness. Reach out to us if you have something you want us to talk about. Let us know. Email us, DM us.
Yes, 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 yes. Thank you so much for being here, for being our brighter bees. And We love you. Until next time.
We love you. Bye.